I believe that we have to go to a non-negotiated price, totally online, transparent, 100% pickup and delivery model.
This statement by CEO Jim Farley came as a shock to the entire automobile industry. Ford has been around for over 100 years and has always sold its models through dealerships. But that model no longer works in a world where online has become the norm. People are getting more and more anxious when buying a car from a dealer. You have to negotiate and wait for hours hoping the dealer won't take advantage of you. Unfortunately, dealerships are doing just that. One dealership put the Ford F-150 Lightning at $50,000 above the asking price. But surprisingly, this is not the exception. So, join us in today's video as we explore what massive problem lies ahead of Ford Motors and what exactly it is the Ford CEO is going to do about it. Stay tuned till the end to find out. To fully understand the problem, we need to get into the very origin of it. Why do dealerships exist? Car dealerships first appeared in the early 1900s as a way for Ford to sell its cars to customers. The first dealers were just horse-drawn carriage dealers who agreed to sell Ford cars. Henry Ford then formally established his network of competing dealer franchises in 1914. Little did he know of the problems it would cause later. It was a good expansion strategy at that time, as dealers could get closer to their customers and provide a better buying and servicing experience. At the same time, Ford did not have to set up physical locations across the country. By the 1930s, dealerships had large showrooms where customers could inspect the latest models, talk to experienced salespeople, and troubleshoot previously purchased vehicles, all branded under the Ford name. Today, Ford operates more than 3,000 dealerships nationwide and employs more than 150,000 people. That sounds great. So, where's the problem? The problem is that Ford has come to know your least favorite part of the buying experience dealing with dealerships. Salespeople are aggressive whether the contact occurs through an in-person meeting, phone, email, or text. Nothing mitigates the excitement of buying a new car, quite like filling out a mountain of paperwork. And dealers are now turning record profits with egregious markups due to the industry's current supply and demand issues. Ford wants to change that. At the Bernstein Strategic Decisions Conference, CEO Jim Farley expressed his desire to move EV sales off the traditional dealership model. Farley said, "We've got to go to a non-negotiated price. We've got to go 100% online." Ford wants to do things differently as it expands into the EV business. It's spinning electric cars into their own sub-brand, untethered from the time-honored tradition of dealers asking, "What can I do to get you in this car today?" Months after that news first came out, CEO Jim Farley is doubling down. In an interview, the executive confirmed that under his new plan, dealerships would get rid of inventory entirely and become high-quality service centers for customers who purchase their vehicles online. In a presentation at Bernstein's 38th Annual Strategic Decisions Conference, an event that is apparently real and not an Arrested Development plot point, Farley confirmed that Ford intends to sell EV entirely online with no haggle pricing. Dealer lots full of pre-ordered inventory would be gone, and today's existing dealers would pivot to providing service for cars purchased online. Farley is talking about how he wants the Ford Motor Company to sell electric vehicles, like the Ford F-150 Lightning and Mustang Mach-E. The CEO has been at odds with the traditional factory dealer consumer buying process, one that's been in place for as long as anyone can remember. But the pandemic, supply shortages, and outrageous dealer markups have brought the pitfalls of that system to light. Now Farley is looking to change that, if only for Ford's electric models. However, Ford is not going to make all of its dealers disappear overnight. Dealer owners have a huge say in how things get handled at Ford, despite often being at odds with the company. Instead, Farley says dealers have to adapt or die. He sees physical dealer locations as an edge over competitors, but the standards for evolving to fall in line with Ford's new vision are going to be brutal. Despite that, the fixed-price model isn't new, especially when it comes to electric cars. Tesla arguably pioneered the model despite its ambiguity on pricing at times. The same could be said for Rivian, which has fought long and hard to sell cars direct to consumers where it otherwise wasn't legal, like in Georgia. In short, buyers of electric vehicles expect to see a price, know that's what they'll be paying, pay it, and have their car show up either at home or at the dealer. Nothing more, and certainly nothing less. Oddly enough, Farley also took an interesting stance on advertising for the Blue Oval's electric vehicles. He said at the conference that the brand is going to massively scale down its electric vehicle advertising initiatives. He didn't elaborate much beyond that, simply saying, "If you ever see Ford Motor Co. doing a Super Bowl ad on our electric vehicles, sell the stock." This could perhaps be attributed to electric buyers' expectations and perceptions of the vehicles they're interested in. Maybe these buyers prefer their vehicles to be differentiated from traditional forms of advertising and selling. It would certainly explain why Ford plans to cut down adverts for its EV. Farley said existing dealerships will play a role in this transition, with the company using its physical presence to outperform startups like Tesla, which have had to build physical showrooms and service locations from zero, in comments reported by Bloomberg. Farley also outlined his plan to eliminate Ford's advertising spending entirely. The automaker is one of the biggest purchasers of advertising on Earth, spending more than $3 billion a year on ads. But Ford didn't buy any ads for its two new electric vehicles, the Mustang Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning, and both of those are sold out. Farley said, "When it comes to EV, I'm not convinced we need public advertising. A fully digital purchase experience may prevent buyers from putting eyes on cars and butts in seats before shelling out their hard-earned cash, but that's a problem that people seem to care about less with every passing year." Digital sales make up nearly a third of car transactions in the United States, and that's unlikely to ever return to pre-pandemic levels. Dealerships, however, would not go away under Farley's vision. They would pivot to being pickup, delivery, and service centers. Its robust dealer network is a strategic advantage for Ford when selling EV versus electric startups. If you're looking to build out your fleet, Ford has a network of around 3,000 dealers where you'll be able to get a vehicle fixed. Rivian currently has fewer than 20 locations. Farley's EV sales model remains an aspiration, not a formalized plan from Ford. The move could get tricky in certain states like Michigan, where automakers themselves have promoted laws that ban direct vehicle sales and service, which blocks Tesla from fully setting up shop and any extensive operations change. Volvo is pivoting toward online sales of its electric cars, as you can only buy the C40 Recharge and Polestar vehicles online. Mercedes is about to push dramatically toward direct online sales where feasible, and Volkswagen dealers are worried that the new Scout off-road pickup and SUV brand will bypass them entirely. Ford may not have a no-nonsense online sales solution set up yet, but with epic dealer markups pushing the F-150 Lightning well past the price point of its intended customer base, it's not surprising Ford is interested in finding one. CEO Farley has taken on the enormous task of transforming a large company with outdated processes into one that behaves like a startup. Also, in the age of EV, old-fashioned sales methods will no longer work. Unnecessary price hikes only frustrate customers and drive them towards the competitors. To stay ahead of the curve, Ford needs to make some changes, and they need to make them quickly before it's too late. So, what do you think Ford needs to do in order to renovate, avoid corporate red tape, and above all, move quickly? Do the hike prices put you off Ford, or do you think it's a massive problem? Let us know in the comments below. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like and do consider subscribing to our channel for more interesting content like this, and we'll see you in the next